Hi, my name is Josh Griffiths, and I'm in the Fort Hays State Student Teaching Program at the moment for elementary education. This is my second video reflection from my second lesson involving differentiated instruction. Um, Throughout this lesson, the differentiated instruction that I used was that we, in groups, have differentiated reading based off of certain levels that these students have achieved from the beginning of the year until now. And this is about to change with our new 9 weeks. But at the moment, they're in a certain group that they've been in since the beginning of the year based off of an assessment they took to place them in a certain area. Um, I went off those groups in terms of some of the questions that I asked, some of the work that we did, the openness for their response through the reading that we did, the story that I had read to them. They were able to then reply and answer the questions based off of their ability. They could go as in-depth or as surface as they needed to in order to answer the questions of who, what, when, where, why, and how. Also in their small groups when we met together, again, we checked over these. It was time that we took to see what they had come up with to be able to share with their other teammates and partners in their groups. They were able to look and see what other students had come up with throughout the reading and in their small group readers that they use as well. Just using those 6 elements of reading. Um, the whole group, in terms of doing that, there's specific students who are a lot higher. They are incredibly high for our grade, and there are a few that are incredibly low for our grade. And so with them, I expected to see very different answers compared to, say, the median of the class. And so for them to then be able to work in their small groups afterwards as we worked together um, when they visited with me, to be able to check through that and see new things through covering the story again was a very helpful thing for them. It was something to be able to pull out from other students and allow them to see that. I would say one of the challenges, and it's no matter, I think no matter how much time that I spend with my class, there's always just the challenge of reaching the highest students and the lowest students. It's kind of that thing of being able to meet the middle with so many students, but then challenging again the high students, really getting them what they need to be challenged beyond being able to answer the questions that seem to be a little easy for them, kind of basic, and then also at the same time being able to reach to the kids or the students who are very low and be able to help them get the understanding that they need based off of whatever the topic it is that we are studying. So that's probably the most difficult thing for me that I saw in this, to be able to really reach each section of students. Even when we got into our small group, it's still, there's so many differences in our small groups to be able to pull out this one student who really struggles compared to the other low students in the group, the one or two that are even farther down than the kind of the median of that group. So just kind of trying to make sure that I'm hitting each student with what they need is probably the hardest thing, and trying to see on some days it's going to be different, and you're gonna think that you've got something that'll really reach them, and it won't. And you'll have to again address that and change it up and really differentiate even in that, depending on the daily interaction with them and what they're feeling and thinking or going through or whatever, in order to help them the most. And I think I would just change again my focus on the individual students that really do struggle. I need to just be able to focus more on them in those times that I know that the other kids are going to get what they need to get out of that learning situation. So the kids that really are struggling, to really kind of be able to hit them with something very quick, and also the kids that are very high, be able to hit them with something very quick as well. So that is the change that I would make in that.